Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lotus, Lotus the Sage. I appreciate you being here. So, today we have another pick a card, and today's pick a card is going to be an elemental check-in. So, each pile will have 4 categories: earth, air, fire, water. We're going to figure out what's happening in each element. We will use the elements as they do in the tarot, similar to the earth energy being about your practical matters, your everyday, air energy being about communication, your thoughts, written word, etc. Fire energy being about your actions, how you go about your day-to-day, and water being specifically about your emotional state, how you even communicate, possibly emotionally, or respond. So that's how we're going to look at it for each pile. So for pile 1, we have this angel. Pardon my voice, it's a little extra hoarse today. Pile 2, we have the lighthouse. In pile 3, we have the doggy. So see which charm might be calling your attention, and I will see you at your choice. Welcome my pile 1 who chose the angel. We're going to put, I think, her over here. These will be your guidance cards, and we will look at these guys at the very end. I'm going to spread out your cards. Okay, my beautiful collective of pile 1 who chose the angel. This column over here is your earth, this is air, this is fire, and this is water. So let's look into your earthly energy, your practical matters, your material life, your everyday resources, etc. Let's see what we got. We have meadow, vulnerability. Pluto. And bird perched, waiting for news, package, letter. I feel off of first energies here about the, I guess, the overarching energy of your earthly energy. I'm really getting a sense of the need or the ask of you to look deep within and at clearly your vulnerabilities, to find where certain patterns of yours have prevented or created blockages. They said it in terms of on your pursuit to happiness or in your pursuit of happiness. There is a fear about there is a fear about being vulnerable, mainly showing vulnerability. And they're also giving me a sense of, for some, not for all, that you may have expressed something and allowed yourself to be vulnerable, and you are now waiting for a response back about what you were vulnerable about. And Pluto's energy, as I said, about diving deep, looking into vulnerabilities, but it's really, generally talking about bringing something to light, a secret to light. So are you the one that has to bring it to light? Are you waiting for something to be brought to light? But if this is talking specifically about you, my viewer, it really does feel like there's an ask of you to look at what your vulnerabilities are or how you view vulnerability. And it feels like whatever pattern or thing that you discover is what you're waiting for. That's what it feels like. Okay, let's continue with your tarot. So we have, look at that, High Priestess, listen, number 2. Spirit's saying Spirit is saying listen in the essence of listen to what has just been said. That's why I'm giggling. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse. And the Chariot. I'm feeling two things. One, you're being stubborn about how you resist your intuition, meaning you're just being stubborn and resisting the intuition, resisting the nudges, not listening to what you actually feel, which is, again, talking about going deep with that Pluto energy. Second thing I'm feeling here is I feel like you have to be a little bit more disciplined when it comes to this particular phase of diving deep into your own personal vulnerabilities, into your own personal triggers, into the whys behind the triggers. There's something about you really having to be no nonsense about it and go after and go deep, dive deep into whatever that is for you. Because I do feel like it will be a really transformative exploration of yourself that propels you into new adventures. That's how they worded it. They're really bringing me to this red wheel over here in the Chariot card. I don't think I really paid attention to that before. And it's bringing me to like the Wheel of Fortune when I was saying new adventures. It's like taking you to this place of, I'm having a hard time speaking with you guys. It's taking me to this place of a destined path now, as opposed to one. Okay, excuse me. They're showing it to me like this path of resistance to not want to look deep enough at your own vulnerabilities is like being on a mudslide. That's how they showed it to me. And this energy here feels like surfing. You know, like there's a difference. It's like one feels like you're not in control, but in flow with the wave for you to find momentum. And this one feels at the mercy of the fall. You know, like that's the best way I can try to find those words for you, because I'm really having a hard time communicating this earth energy for you, Paiwan. This is very interesting. And let's see what to keep in mind for your earth energies. Dreams, number 24. Yeah, it really does, excuse me, for me, feel like for you to be able to go after or accomplish the dream that you want, whatever that is, there's a vulnerability within you that needs to be tapped into. And certain patterns or quirks about yourself might need to be re-examined when it comes to habits, discipline, like I said, for structure, for you to be able to cultivate this dream. Again, this movement towards that venture. Start and keep listening to your intuition for these practical matters. When it comes to realizing your dreams, going after what it is that you want, finding the areas where you're not comfortable, and really examining and looking at them with a clear set of eyes and truth. And it's so funny, the angel where I put your charm, the arm is like pointing to Pluto. You know, it's like Pluto's a key. It's like you diving deep into this underworld, so to speak, of yourself, for you to come out clearly and know which path to take to follow that dream. Beautiful. Let's see your air energy, your communication, your thoughts, etc. Okay, oopsies. We have stillness. This is absolutely fitting if we're going to tie it into your earth energy, right? if they're asking you to dive deep and go into the underworld for you to be able to accomplish, or for you to have clarity on how to accomplish this goal, stillness, that meditative state, that underworld energy, you know, a sense of that stillness, and also that reference to surfing. Now, if you're on a still lake, right, there's a different set for you to have to get into the water to find that wave, you know, that hand paddle. I have never surfed before. I don't know why they're giving me these analogies, but this is the energy that they're giving me. Very cool. And then we have Om. Beautiful. Talk about stillness, meditation, a state of harmony and bliss in meditation, sense of oneness, understanding. Yeah, and marriage. It does feel like a marriage to yourself, like, in all fairness, you know, because if this is where we're coming back to that vulnerability about your everyday, you know, and this Om energy, that meditative sort of state of perfection in meditation, so to speak, of course. It's allowing yourself to be conscious of what needs to be reharmonized within yourself when we come back to that energy of that vulnerability, right? I need to remarry myself. I need to come back into center with myself and merge the two parts of me that have been disconnected or malnourished, excuse me. It's a sense of working through the chaos and the disorder that currently surround the situation, which is within the mind right now, what it feels like, you know? So that air energy, your thoughts, your mind, your communication style, like, it feels like a sense of withdrawal. Like there needs to be like a pulling back of the energy for you to, again, go into the underworld, into that stillness. To alchemize the marriage between your shadow and your light side. To find the love again from deep within is what they said. And they're like, put a ring on your own finger and marry yourself. Interesting. They're showing me like the metaphor they gave me, it's like you were choking yourself with denial. Like about this energy. About your insecurities. Too many masks had been put on, and you're finally ready to put them down. To step into the fullness of who you are, and to merge with the souls that are right for you. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, nice. Okay, let's see your tarot. Sadness and isolation. Interesting. Yeah. Again, stillness. Needing to go in it alone at the moment. Dive deep. Merge one with self. You know, I feel the sadness mainly comes from possibly whatever this is, whatever made you feel vulnerable or put you in that vulnerability state where it made you feel uncomfortable, but therefore still allowing you to go into this place where it's necessary. This isolation phase is necessary. I feel like the loneliness might get to you because it's not something that, again, like you're not allowing yourself to go there, like you're being stubborn about it. And I think that's what possibly could be creating that sadness, when it's a matter of changing the perspective of why you're going to the depths, to the underworld. They just said it's for you not to be afraid of yourself. Wow. See the tarot. We have the Hanged Man. And the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Which is a Three of Swords. Sorry, this Three of Sadness and Isolations. My apologies. So again, this can very well have to do with specifically healing from where you had felt vulnerable, and you were trying to figure out a way to not be that, to not feel that anymore. That's very possible. It does feel like a deep sense of like personal healing. Like that's, I don't know if I'm getting bothered with the word healing for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's your energy, but like, it's almost like I'm tired of it being this way or doing this. That's the energy I'm feeling. I feel like a part of this stillness and isolation energy, this meditative state, this creating harmony within oneself and the union within oneself. Why you are in that phase is because of this sadness from whatever you feel isolated from, whatever you couldn't get, whatever wasn't available, whatever didn't work out, whatever triggered you. And it feels like you're looking for like the reasoning why love doesn't work out or why these connections don't fit. For some, maybe for most of this pile. Or why always something feels off. That's what I could say. Something feels off. And with love, my darlings of pile 1, it does feel like there is a bit of like a sacrificial lamb energy is what I'm feeling. Like there's parts of you that you deny and give up. And that denial of self is what is preventing you from finding the energies that are actual matches, not passerbys or bystanders or onlookers. Like they're giving to me and feeling like nothing sticks. Like nothing sticks. So my beautiful, when it comes to your mental state, the main energy for you is meditation, stillness, quiet, trying to find that union within self. Again, looking for a new perspective on how you view love, how you approach it, how you felt it. And again, love in general, like all connections is, you know, how you think about your connections, how you think about how you expressed or don't express your emotions. Okay, let's see something to keep in mind, or your help or guidance for your air energies. Chance, dice. Spirit's like, you gotta take a chance. You gotta gamble. There is no one way. There is no guaranteed way. You have to gamble, and you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable for you to be able to find those ones that stick. I don't know why they keep bringing up The Princess and the Frog when the animation, when Tiana and Prince Naveen are hungry, and Prince Naveen's tongue is going they're frogs by now, and Prince Naveen's tongue is going like crazy, and he starts eating flies. And when I was saying something for you to like, they don't stick, that's what I saw was the Princess and the Frog, the tongue and the fly being eaten. You know, like there's nothing that's sticking to this, because they're showing me Tiana not being able to catch it, and she was like, I am not kissing a frog and eating a fly on the same day, and eating a bug is what she says, on the same day. There's something about that energy of you maybe not entertaining certain things anymore. It's like, I don't want all of these frogs. You know, like that's kind of what it is. It's like, where's my freaking prince? My princess, whatever you want. And Spirit's really saying like, love, life, energies. I know this is the air energy, but the way we think about it isn't always going to be the way it plays out. It's not logical, in other words. It's by chance, some of it, you know? Like, so you got to put yourself or involve yourself in these situations for chance encounters, for the chance for that to happen. That's the energy I'm feeling. Interesting. Let's see your fire energies, my lovelies. We have rainbow blessings. Nice. So it feels like well, based on this one card, for your fire energy, it feels like you will be taking action towards this. I'm not entirely sure though. Like, it could just be like you're just taking action to get out of this and then you don't end up taking the time, but we will see. But I don't know if that would be the smart decision for you, and it doesn't feel like that's what you would do, but let's see anyways. Saihiki. This is the mental and emotional symbol. Roughly translated means divine and humanity becoming one. So, as I was saying, like when we were talking about this marriage, this union within self, and I don't feel like you just run away from this, it doesn't feel like the smart course of action. And as it says here, you don't run away. It's like trying to, again, find that union within self. It's talking about emotional release needed, or a buildup of emotion in you, and that's hence this is the act, the fire energy. Like this, there is something that needs to be released. I feel like there is a blessing with this release if you allow yourself to go deep. It's talking about bottled up feelings, repressed emotions, fear. It's okay to release it. That's the blessing. It's okay to release it. So clear and release that energy. That's literally what's happening here in your action, It's in that practical doing, that earthly practical doing, that the action that it creates in the doing, I should say, is the blessing of the release, of the clearing away, of the sadness, of the perspective on something that one once had is now being altered. And then, wow, look at that. Family wishes come true. So I have to say this first because that's where they brought my energy first. I wasn't reading specifically just the tea leaf cards, but they brought me specifically to the tea leaf cards. And it definitely can be news of marriage, of a union, of coming together. And I did talk roughly about that in the beginning, like you may have offered up something that made you feel really vulnerable. It might have to do with marriage or commitment or union long term. And it might be like a wish that you wanted or your family's wanted for you, etc. That is very obviously here, just as a side note. And that can have to do with like a partial separation or partial moments apart, finding what one really wants, and then coming together after the decision has been made. Like it definitely can be something along those lines too. But when it comes to this action or your fire energy, it feels like with this whole blessing, a wish coming true, the release of whatever pent-up emotional energy, that's the blessing, that's the wish coming true, is whatever it gives you, that release, that thing, the coming together or the separating of, like whatever it is that you want or need is what's I feel is being offered to you. See your tarot. Look at that. Freaking release. 13, death. Like, I'm telling you. That's what it feels like. It feels like that's what you wanted. The release of whatever this energy has been. Wherever you felt something wasn't working. Like, it's here for you. The transition out, again, underworld, the death. To come out, emerge into this new phase of you. The initiation of you again. And as I brought up the choking, right? The choking yourself with the resistance, they're bringing me to like the open collar of this energy here. It's like that's the energy I felt in my throat. It's like I can finally breathe, like that release, Energy. Anyway, interesting. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles, frickin' A. And the Eight of Wands, swiftly, my friend. Swiftly. Like, it really can be either or. An actual marriage, it feels more heavily like a divorce, a separation, a disconnect, but something that is really wanted. Like it could be like the finalization, or the finalizing of divorce or papers or something like that. Like there is an energy for sure about this in here for somebody in this pile. Regardless, when it comes to your fire energy, your action energy, it's this, my Nine of Pentacles, that single, sexy, confident, independent, self-assured card. That Eight of Wands being steadfast, steadfast, speedy, already in motion. Like it's already, already happening, already on its way, so to speak. You know, so this blessing, this wish coming true, this release, this balancing out for you to create that stability within self, and the quick movement away from whatever and towards whatever will be better for you. So that's the action that's happening within your life right now for sure. And then trees, yeah, again, stability, generations, long-term karma, patterns, cycles ending. So new cycles can begin, a branching out. And that also, like, again, speaking back to however this plays out, that news you're waiting for is maybe what this is. Like, once this comes in for you, it's like, ooh, release, I'm free. Like, that's what I feel here. I'm free. Like, literally, I'm free. Wow, pile one. Okay, let's see your water energy, your emotional state. We have, nice. Dance, celebration, of course. After this progression of your reading, I would not expect anything less. Of course. I just heard my feet are back in the soil, like back on land. I've returned. Oh, that's so nice. Look at that element of water, like emotional. I just feel like joy, like straight up joy. Emotionally satisfied in this beautiful new state of you, this new freedom, this celebratory energy. It's lovely. Oh my God. And then dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Single, sexy, confident, that money abundance here, hey? Look at this. So this seems like a beautiful progression for you, and the key to getting yourself here is in this earthly energy, for sure. Like the mental game is connected, of course, but it's in the doing for you to discover what it is that, or where you can take that chance or be confident enough to, you know, change up the way that you're focusing on something for the actual, because it's already in motion. Like the momentum has already started. It's in play, you know, and this momentum of where this takes you is in this beautiful celebratory, financially stable, emotionally satisfied state. Like it's, there's nothing else for me to say. Then we have the third eye chakra. Look at this. When we were talking about listen, right? When it comes to that earthly energy, you eventually get there. The discipline is needed, and eventually you get there. So that's open now. Again, celebrating. Woo, woo. The tower, yes. It's perfect. It's perfect. Like shocking energy, excitement. This is like, again, like I said, it's already in motion, you know? And I do feel like there's going to be like this crazy influx of spiritual or psychic downloads once you're in this bliss state, like this freedom state. Yeah, look at this, the Fool, like I said, like just ready. This shit crumbles, you're like, woo, let's jump, let's go. I'm ready to live again, let's go dancing, you know, like, oh, I love it. Holy moly. It's interesting. I really do feel like this is like a new spiritual awakening that happens, or an actual new spiritual gift. It's almost like the reward for releasing or transitioning out of whatever phase you were in prior, doing the work, finding that realization, applying whatever you've learned, that knowledge, and that action of you applying it, it's freaking beautiful. It just flows now. You're in that wave. Look at that. Water again in the emotions. Like, there's nothing more I can say. A beautiful influx of bounty, a windfall of luck, of love, of emotional security, of freedom. I'm telling you, it's freedom. My pal ones, freedom. I guess your guidance is to stay in the flow, you know? Stay in that flow of where that energy is leading you, what you've been gifted with. Allowing yourself to maintain that stability of this newness coming in, the blessings, the wish coming true, your freedom, the release of the old. Take a chance on looking at it from a different perspective, of recognizing where you need to be still, where you might need to take more chances, where you've allowed yourself to stifle your own emotions. But allow yourself to really dive deep and figure out where or what or how this vulnerability plays into your life. Wow, my pal ones, let us see your closing guidance. The back of your thingy, it says your guardian, so it just says guardian. So your first guidance card says, don't make assumptions, be aware of unconscious assumptions. And it says, assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. And this is what I feel here, agreements to communicate with yourself that way. Like nothing sticking. I'm sort of fed up with this. I was choking on some of this old energy. There's something about the old way of you approaching certain things. Love, people. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. Talk about communication, right? That taking a chance on emoting, being more vulnerable possibly, or in the way that you have been vulnerable. Maybe it was too much too soon. Maybe it wasn't reciprocated and now you're afraid. Like, there's something about unconscious assumptions. And that might not necessarily be from you, but from the people involved. That's just a note. And your self-forgiveness oracle, you have a masculine energy. It says, I forgive myself for pressuring myself to have all the answers, even when the answers are not yet meant to be mine. Interesting. I choose to believe that knowledge simply enhances my intuition, and it is safe to follow my instincts until more is revealed. All of this here. Follow my instincts until more is revealed. And I think this is where this is. I really do feel like it should be opposite way with these cards, but it doesn't really matter. When they're talking about for pressuring yourself to have all the answers, even when the answers are not yet meant to be yours, it's making me think of we've made agreements to communicate this way, to feel that it's not safe to ask questions. So is there a connection between specifically communication styles when it comes to expressing love or expressing true emotional depth? You know, and allowing yourself to really tap into how you feel sort of creates that extra knowledge. Therefore, you can trust that instinct, for you to allow it to lead you, guide you, be your guardian. Oh, my lovely pile one, I hope this was helpful in giving you your elemental check-in on what Spirit wanted to bring to your attention. If this resonated in any way, please give a like, subscribe, share, all those good stuff, but please leave a comment if you'd feel comfortable too. I'd love reading about it. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, ciao. Welcome my pal twos who chose the Lighthouse. These two are your guidance cards. We'll look at them at the end. I'm going to spread out your cards. All right, my beautiful collective of pile 2. So this column over here is your earth, this is air, this is fire, and this is water. So the earth energy is going to talk about your material life, your practical matters, your everyday resources, etc. Your money, possibly. Alrighty, so let's see what your earth energy wants to say to you, pile 2. Full moon, completion. Nice. Sorry, collective, they're giving me a message. There's a lot of stuff, well, I've only done pile 1, but there's a heavy feeling in the collective readings today about ancestral karma, like completing certain cycles. Like there's a lot in the collective energy right now. And your energy feels that way. It feels like something you specifically are completing from an ancestral line to clear the path. The sun, talk about clear the path, right? Completion, the full moon, new start with that sun. There's something very, very prominent about that for you in your everyday. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever work you've been doing, whatever thing you've just completed. Again, I'm talking about in a bigger spiritual sense, but again, this can be just as mundane as your everyday work completion, like completing a project, ready for something new, the end of one phase, going into something else. And then hills, obstacles to overcome. I'm really getting a heavy emphasis on ancestral completions of things. So however that is actually playing out in your life, that's for you to determine, but this is exactly how this energy feels. Like you're almost like it's coming. It's like the very last 3 steps. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling. Like you're there. This is interesting. Let's see what we're talking about here. Healing begins. 6 of swords in this deck. Then we have the Queen of Wands. And the World. It's very clear for me, like, you are the one, you have the energy to complete whatever it is that you have needed to complete, especially with this world energy too, the completion of a cycle for something new to begin. And that healing begins, for me, feels like that new path, like to set the new path, because you've cleared one set of ancestral patterning or karma that allows for, it's not even like the healing begins, it's like it's a new path entirely. Like it's completely new. It's dead and done. Like that's what it is, and especially with that lighthouse energy and with you coming out in the sun, when your practical matters, your everyday, it's like you've taken the initiative in some respect to complete something, and you did it, or you have done it, or you are doing it, or you're just about to complete it. There's no second guessing this energy for me, is what I'm trying to say. You've allowed yourself to tap into your full potential, and you did not back down from the obstacles that came up in your way. You're giving me the phrase, you took the bull by the horns and have taken the world in your hands. The sun is rising on you. Woo, pile 2! Ooh, I love it. Okay. Let's see your guidance or your advice or your reminder or something to keep in mind, etc. Mercury. Your thoughts. Keep your mind clear and your objective in sight. The practical nature of your logical mind is the key to success in this particular endeavor. The practical application, excuse me. Beautiful. Okay. I love that. So when it comes to your earthly energies, your everyday, there is something that is definitely completed. You are overcoming these particular obstacles. You have taken the initiative to forge this new path. you know, with clarity, with understanding of where one is going, with a direct view insight. Lovely. Air energy, pile 2. Let's see where your thoughts are. Your subconscious thoughts, possibly. Waterfall, effortless. Lovely. Yeah, it feels clear. Like, it feels like you know exactly what you want, where you're going, what you want to do when you get there also. Like, as it says, it's like this effortless stream of clear thought, clear direction, of clear knowing. Wow. Yesod. This is beautiful. Yesod's keyword roughly is foundation. It rules the realm of cycles and movement, governing things such as time, moon phases, seasons, tidal flows, and the reproductive cycles, the unconscious mind, and emotions. It sort of can be viewed as the grand machinery that powers the ordered, cyclical functions of the universe. And that's within the mind, that connection, that clear knowing. Again, this karmic cycles, the completion of the seasonal and tidal flows, the moon phases. It's about reordering and rebalancing your life. Technically, it can stand for that. But if we're talking about it in the air energy, when we're talking about effortless, like this is what it feels like. It is just clear. Like it feels balanced already is what I'm getting at. It doesn't feel like it needs to be put into balance. It's like there is an effortlessness within creating this balance in this new cycle. Look at this. Great passion, tulip. Yeah. Like you have, it's like the foundation of you, or no, like I said, like you know where you're going. It's just effortlessly on track. Like it's, your reading is so much smoother in comparison to pile 1's when I couldn't even get out the words. It took me a while to get that out, so the reading's probably gonna be much longer. But this feels easy. It feels like so sure, like I know what the hell I'm doing. And then joy and stability in the reverse, which is the 4 of Wands in this deck. Before I say what I'm feeling here is because they keep bringing me back to like breaking down of things, right? And the ending of cycles so something else can begin. And it feels like something that might have been perceived as very stable, joyous, or connected. There's something about it that may not have been fully truthful, is what they're giving me. They're saying there was no honesty within the foundation. And because of that, it spiraled out of control. And they just said, hence why the ⴵ is choosing a different path, which is what's allowing the cycle to break. This is interesting. Cool. Okay, we got 7 of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, like you chose another route. Like that's literally it. Like I feel like this is the best way to sneak out in this kind of scenario for the 7 of Swords. It's like, later, motherfuckers. Like, excuse my language. But that's what it feels like. It's like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to take what I need. I'll leave you guys with whatever you think this is, but this is not the way that I'm going to go about it. Yeah, like, look at that high priestess, excuse me. That deep knowing, you know, of what strategy to take, of what things to take with me. Of also recognizing they're saying like when the destruction began, like when the crumbling started to happen. And if this is talking about the mind, right? This can be the crumbling of the mind, you know, like how that created the need for this completion. You know, again, that Mercury, the connection to the mind. It really does feel like this effortless strategy to go after what you want, your passions, your desire, with the clearest amount of focus. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. It is like a direct beam lighting your path, and you are not hesitating. But you're not trying to make your movements loud. Like, you're not trying to be like how I said, like, F you mother effers. Like, it's not that kind of energy, but it's quietly like, later fuckers. I'm swearing so much for you guys. I'm so sorry. But that's exactly what it feels like. It's this smirk underneath this knowing. I love it. And delays. Look at this, number 35. Okay. This is maybe why there's that sneaking energy. You might want this to be a much smoother transition than it probably is or can be or will be. And I think there is a need for some of the silence or sneaking away to some degree to prevent some of the delays. Because it does feel like people might interfere with trying to pull you back into whatever thing that you've literally just released. And that could be the reason why they're like semi-warning you, like, don't delay what you need to do, because everything like here is in alignment, right? It's the foundation that needs to be released in some way. And that, talking about that cycle, those karmic cycles, right? The ebbs and flows of things, the tidal flow. And you following that flow for you to prevent the delays has to have a slight amount of stealth, of sneakiness, of secrecy. And I would say a heavy amount, because you have the High Priestess and the Seven of Swords. Both are very secretive energy, withholding energies for purpose. This one is for strategy. This one is for knowledge. You know, not everybody can use knowledge well, in other words, right? Or may not be able to hear it clearly because of the state where they are at mentally. Interesting. Let's see your fire energy, my lovelies. Oh, speaking of, you got fire and passion. How beautiful is that? Sorry. How beautiful is that? Like, you have great passion here. Passion. It's lovely how yours is like connect, connect, connect. I wonder if it's gonna connect like this. You know, like they're really bleeding well into each other. I love that. And then we have the ᴑᴜᴜᴜᴜ. This is roughly the symbol of power. It's a power symbol, and it roughly translates into put all the powers of the universe here into the passion, right? That's like drawing in that energy. You're being asked to focus and maintain your own personal power in order to unblock the obstacles that currently stand in your way, whatever or wherever that may be. And just a reminder that these obstacles are obviously here for you to learn, grow, and develop. So pulling the power and bringing and drawing that energy right here, right into your passion, right where you are, right in the direction of where you've decided to continue this path or to create your own. Look at this. Happiness and well-being. Look at this. And right back to the sun energy. You have the sun twice. You have passion twice. Like, they are spirits screaming at you now. Like, or screaming at me, I should say. Like, this pile knows what the F they're doing. Like, they know where they're going. They know what... They just know. They know what they're doing. Like, serious. This is amazing. Okay. Base chakra in the reverse. Interesting. They're giving me Because I was like, I was asking, I'm like, is the root chakra out of balance? Is that the reason why this has come up in the reverse for pile 2? And Spirit is saying no. Spirit's saying that you've already rebalanced the root chakra, which is that home energy, which we're talking about, that ancestral cyclical energy, right? So if we're saying that that's family, that's root, right? If that completion is about to be completed, or it has been completed, or that cycle, has been completed, they're saying they're bringing you to the sun energy, which is that solar plexus energy. They're like, you are rooting it from here now. Like, this is where you're moving from. Before, you had to heal this part of you, this ending, this completion, and now you've taken that, whatever you needed from that particular healing of that root chakra, the base, the money, the finances, the family, the home, the stability within self, the foundation, that's already been established. So you don't have, they're saying to me, you don't have to work from the root chakra now. You're working from your solar plexus. Strength, yeah. Sun energy again in that essence. And then the 3 of Wands in the reverse. Like I said, like, you're not waiting for anything, or there's no waiting here, is what I mean, in this passionate energy. It's like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm going. I'm not waiting for things to come. Like, I'm going towards it. Sun energy. It's heavy. And it's like forceful. Like, it's excited force. That's what it feels like. Not aggressive force, excited force. Passionate, loving. The ascendant, the self. Like, I'm telling you, you are ready. You're going. It's you. I'm doing it. It's so clear. Wow, pile 2. Like, so freaking clear. It's so fitting for the lighthouse. Like, so fitting. You are taking action to go after your dreams with deliberate passion. Strength behind your conviction. Clarity in your vision. Like, that is key here. Clarity in your vision. Like a sunrise here is what I feel. Sun here, moon here, world here. High priestess. Like, you got heavy energies here. Like, big time good ones. Love it. So when it comes to your fire energy, my love, like, that's what's happening. Like, you're in step. You're doing it. And your water energy, your emotions, creation, dream time. They said that you are creating a lot of things in your dreams, like creating a lot of newness, like creativity, literally newness in your dreams. So take heed or take notes when you wake up, even if it's just one word things, that they will be helpful. Aquarius. It's interesting, as a water barrier. And speaking of, like, creating things in your dream time, especially with that Aquarian energy of that humanitarian knowledge, seriousness, insightfulness, there's a lot of maybe what you're creating for the benefit of the whole humanity, or just in general with the evolution of the human species. It's also a time to share your gifts with others. Whatever it is that you're creating, it's about sharing. And again, that's probably about where you're heading, where this path is heading you towards. And there is a feeling of, like, setting yourself free by sharing that knowledge. And there's high priestess energy over here. It's like what you've learned from your past, you're able to implement and integrate into work that you're creating in the future. It's lovely. And then Tower, look at this. Have we not been talking about this the whole day? Solid foundation, success with effort. That's exactly what you're frickin' doing. Quite literally. Foundations, cycle breaking, the foundations. Again, you are building your own right now, creating your own from past experiences that you've learned. It's frickin' awesome. And that emotional state for you is where this is being shared, how you're giving it back to humanity. It's frickin' awesome. Okay, let's get some more context here. Ooh, the Lovers in the reverse. Oh. They said you're bringing love back in. Like, there's a sense of harmony that you are creating with, there's a sense of harmony that you will create with whatever it is that you are creating. And there's this, they're giving me a feeling of a not disconnecting, it's sort of like a change of energy, meaning like before it might have been on one and now it's on many. It's not talking necessarily specifically about poly. It's like they're just saying how you're sharing love, this humanitarian, like universal kind of love. It's not just between one and one, it's between one and all. That's interesting. I didn't think I would get that kind of energy. But it's also bringing me back to here with this Four of Wands in the reverse. It's like the way things had been done, I'm choosing a different path. And that might have reference to that. You know, I'm not going to go about looking or finding union or connection in the way that it had been done in my lineage, you know? Maybe I'm loving a different way, loving a different type, being in a different type of relationship, maybe not being in a relationship at all. Like, maybe choosing not to have kids, maybe having kids out of wedlock, like whatever, however that is for you, it's like, it's just different. And it's not necessarily looked upon favorably from where you may have come from. King of Pentacles. Beautiful. And the Magician in the reverse. Interesting. You know what I'm really getting here? Well, not really, but what I'm also getting here is it's almost like you're warning people of the manipulations of love. Like in some degree, you know? It's like if you're not solid within yourself, you're going to be duped when it comes to love dynamics, especially in our era. It's like if you don't, that they're giving me that saying, if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You know, like that's what the lesson feels like. And I feel like part of that is based on past experience and however way that played out for you. And you're saying like, love is possible. This deep, genuine, connected, magical love is possible. But if you do not have this solid foundation within who you are, the tricksters will come out. The manipulators can come out because you'll be wanting something so badly that you will miss yourself within it. And it feels like I've been there. That's what it feels like. I've been there. So I'm going to teach you this from my place of what I've experienced. That's what it feels very strongly like. On a general sense, when it comes to the emotions, when we're talking about this love energy, again, it still talks about that. You may not be wanting to entertain actual romantic relationships at the time until you build up more of this solid foundation and the success from your efforts. Right now, you're still creating and alchemizing and gathering those tools for your foundation to be rebuilt, for that love energy to re-enter on your own merit. You know, not from somebody else specifically. It's beautiful also. I love that. Let's see this here. Look at this. The sun. How perfect. How perfect. Yeah, it's like, this is the sun the third time. Oh my goodness. I just realized. Didn't I say that? How funny would it be if they connected? Didn't I say that? I did. Holy, that's funny. So I'm telling you, this is like boom, 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 boom. Like there's so much here. So much here. Anyway, when it comes to this emotional energy, this watery energy, the sun shining on your perspective of what you've learned, creating this new sense of information or a new way to find the tools or skills to be able to better cope with situations that one may not have been able to handle, ready to handle, expected, etc. You do feel very much like a teacher of sorts, or that might be the change of path that you take into more of a mentorship type of role, coaching type of role. Interesting. It's lovely, pile 2. Your energy is so clear, and it's wow. Like this is the the example of like somebody who did the frickin' work and still knows that they have work to do, but is frickin' happy about their journey. That's what it feels like as a whole. Not to say that you're skipping and jumping the whole way through. I'm just saying as a whole. Beautiful. Okay, your final guidance, my lovelies. Always do your best. It says practice makes master. Well, that's pretty fitting, right? Okay. By doing your best over and over, you can master the art of transformation, which is what we're doing here. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. And this is what I think a part of what you're teaching. Quite literally. You know, all of this stuff will become less frequent with time, but you have to cultivate this within yourself. I really have a strong belief in that, from that energy here. And your self-forgiveness oracle, masculine feminine edition, and you have the masculine energy. It says, I forgive myself for thinking just because I am capable of doing it all on my own, I should. Maybe that's the reminder here, that there is going to be help for you along the way. I don't think that you really need that, but there is a part of it that does need to be done on your own. I think you've already passed that stage, and I really do feel like you're right here, like in the action stage. I choose to believe that when I allow myself to fluidly receive from my environment, I am able to amplify the loving impact I have on the world. That Aquarian energy, that creation dream time. And allowing yourself to receive fluidly, that effortlessly, that waterfall energy towards that great passion. No longer allowing yourself to be delayed by outside influences. In that flow. It is so beautiful, my pile 2. I hope this was helpful and it gave you some clear insight in your check-in, because you seem very clear, my pile 2, like very clear. So please let me know if this resonated. Leave me a like, subscribe, you know, those lovely things. But if you feel comfortable letting me know, I'd love to read about it and how this applies to you. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, ciao. Welcome, my pal 3 who chose the dog. These are going to be your guidance cards at the end. Let's spread out your cards. Okay, my beautiful collective of pile 3. So this is going to be the earth energy, air, fire, and water. We're using the energies similar to how they would in the tarot. So the earth energies are your practical, your material life, your tangible things in your life, your personal resources. All right, so let's get started with your earth energy, pile 3. And you have beautiful summer solstice radiance. I'm hearing there's like this beautiful vitality in your movements or in your steps, like in what you're doing. There's a lot of brightness on your everyday or in your work life, or there's something that's blooming is what I'm getting, like something's blossoming. There's a light being shone on something that you have done or your work or something like that. Sagittarius. Nice, that beautiful fiery and free-spirited energy. Yeah, there's like a lot of motion. Maybe again, there's maybe something new that you've created. That's why I'm feeling like there's something being highlighted for you. Enthusiasm. It's lovely. And wedge, interesting. Someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. That's interesting. I actually feel like this first energy that I'm getting is more of a, what would be the right word? A consoling energy. It's almost like if there has been or there is any interference, like you don't need to worry about it, because I feel based on these cards that the thing is already outshining whatever interference that they're trying to create, you know, between what it is you want. This is interesting. Let's see what the tarot has to add. Coming together, which is the 2 of Cups or 2 of Water. Two of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. Interestingly enough, what I'm getting now, it's almost like a feeling of not entirely sure if wanting to bring somebody along for this thing that's being lit up for you. It's like, I'm not sure if I can take this person with me, or it might be that person, you know, the thing that's coming between you and something that you want. And it might be you debating now, like in your everyday life, like, is this somebody or something that should come along with me? Can this last? Is this the right fit? Because I'm legitimately feeling, based on this sort of warning, like, I don't know if this person should come with you or can continue on this path with you, in other words. This is interesting. Let me take a moment. Pile 3. This is, sorry, didn't need a long minute. So this is interesting because they brought me to the dog and this loyalty, and I really do think that it might be a friend that might be interfering with progressing in some way. I'm hearing that there's something that you're trying to create when it comes to the legacy of what you're trying to leave. And in the process of doing so, you have come to realize that not all people may be capable of continuing with you. And they said capable as opposed to able. That's interesting. Let's see what else. Venus, wow. Cosmos, that love energy. Yeah, I really do feel like it's a decision needing to be made on if a certain particular energy or person can come along with you in whatever is being lit up for you. Like, there's something that's, again, if this is material, it can specifically have to do with work, but this is like everyday matters. This can literally be in anything that you've put your hands in, you know? So there's something about that. I feel like we'll get more clarity on as we continue, but this is what the primary energy of your earthly elemental vibe feels like something that you have created, you've done, your enthusiasm, your spirit, whatever you've created, there's something a light being shone on that in some degree, whether you know about it or not, or maybe you just sent it out, it doesn't really matter, but there is something or someone or an energetic interference in some way. I feel spirit saying you don't need to really worry about them, creating too much of a blockage or a barrier because of this. It's like the coming together because you're making a decision on if this person or thing should continue with you from the heart. It's not ego-based, it's not selfish, it's not fearful, it's just practical. Because if it was like, if we didn't have the Two of Cups here, I might be a little bit more like, you might be a little too harsh when it comes to like, what do you need to cut out? But this doesn't feel that way. It feels very conscious, very graceful, very loving, you know? All right, let's continue. When it comes to your air energy, your thoughts, what's going on, pile 3? Lotus flower, welcome. Unfoldment. Maybe this is my pile too. Unfoldment. I'm feeling an unfoldment of information and clarity. Again, this like bring me back to the sun more than the lotus, or bring me to the sun peeking out from the cloud of this beautiful lotus flower. And again, something being shone, like, again, this is literally what I feel like. Whatever it is that you've created is this beautiful lotus flower and the sun shining on it. Like, that's exactly what I feel from here. So your thoughts are on this, the unfoldment of you, or whatever it is that's developing, that has recently emerged or is about to emerge from out of this mud. Element of earth. Look at the connection. There you go. Speaking of me needing some extra info, exactly, it's connected to your elemental earth energy, right? It's about like what you're practically doing. That's what you've been thinking about, how it's coming to life, quite literally. Look at this. And Lily, spiritual love. That connection you have to it. Like it's almost like whatever you've created is like a divine download, and as we all do, co-creating with universe, it's like something that needs to be brought to light. That's the reason why it's being shone on now. And why this energy here about who's coming with me, or who is actually capable, not just able, capable. Interesting. Let's see the tarot. We have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, awaiting results. Like I said, I don't think that you're waiting. Like, I do feel like it generally feels like it's already been presented. Like the light's already shining on it. It is. If anything I could say when it comes to this awaiting results in the reverse, it can be a little, it doesn't even feel impatient. Like I'm trying to find extra things, but it doesn't. It feels like it's here. And if anything that you're waiting for is the reaction of, the ripple effect of what you've created. And then the moon, yeah. Beautiful. I love this energy, pile 3. And then the Five of Swords in the reverse. Like I said, not in conflict, not waiting, emotions, like you're just, it's in this peaceful, graceful state. Like it's just, it's a beautiful sense of active stillness. That's exactly what it feels like. Oh, I love it. And then we have shadows. Speaking of the moon energy too, hey? So mentally, what's going on for you here is your thoughts are on what it is that you are creating. And like I said, I feel like it's already in process or has been processed, and the things that are coming to the surface right now, for me, feels like you're letting go of conflict, or letting go of any sort of, again, wedge that might come between you and your desire and your dreams. It's literally like you're coming out of the shadows again for light to shine on you this time. Like you're the star of this particular show, not in the background, not a stagehand. You know, like you're the star. And it feels that way. It feels like your thought process is in that momentum of figuring out who you are again. Based on this newness, there's something about you, like it's this thing that you've created or whatever it is, it's an essence of you, and that it's like they're giving it to me like you can't, it's impossible to go back to the old version of you. So who comes? Who's capable? Interesting. Let's see your fire energy. Eagle, communion. There is a lot about partnership in here for you, you know, and discernment about that kind of, or discernment about partnership, period. And it really, because of this spiritual love too, and this unfoldment, this whole unfoldment of you and the communion, again, like creating with source, it's everything so beautifully melded together in this wonderful tapestry of self-realization in another form. Like it's almost like understanding how much more that you had inside you that was untapped, you know, and how well it's being, I feel like, being received or will be received. Again, this active stillness. And so your action is within that. It's the communing with spirit, with yourself, actively and gracefully awaiting the results of your labor. Proud. I feel proud, you know? It's lovely. And then we have ᴤᴤᴜᴜ. ᴤᴤᴜᴜ. So ᴤᴤᴜᴜ roughly means great being of the universe, shine on me. Can also mean great shining light. Like, I can't make this shit up. When I said that's exactly what it feels like, this is exactly what's going on. I can't. Like, I just can't. It embraces the idea that the physical body was conducted as a manifestation of the spiritual body. Spiritual love. Getting it? Get it. This also coordinates the belief that all illness within the physical body begins as an illness of the spirit. It cleanses these bodies and heals the spirit, providing wholeness when it appears in your reading. Cleanse your life of unnecessary energies is the message here, which is exactly what we've been talking about from the beginning. When it comes to who comes, you know, because you're being shone, a light's being shone on you. The communion is here, the connection is there. It's so freaking awesome. And look at this, moon again. Changes in your life, like moon, shadows, 2 suns. The moon's, well, it's not a moon, it's like a shadowy hole, but still, like, it's beautiful. Oh man, I'm really digging this for you, Pal 3. Like, really digging this. Let's see what the tarot has to add. We have 9, Seek, which is the Hermit in the reverse. Like I said, there's a sense of this active stillness. Like, you've already done the work within, but the work that's out, that's exposed, you know, that you've brought to the world, again, there's no rush for something. Like, there's no rush for anything. It's just like, it's done, it's out there, let it be, and wait for it to come to thee. Like, it's that kind of feeling. There's nothing else to say. Like, 9 of Swords in the reverse, not overthinking about anything, fully confident. And then Knight of Wands, there you go. Confidence in the midst of rapid change. That is you right here, my lovely. The change that's happening within, the exposure or something like that that's happening with your work or with whatever you've been creating or doing, or however that plays out for you. Spirit is shining a light on you, literally. Major changes are coming up for you that are really good, like really good. Really good. Saturn, I feel like lessons learned. It's like Saturn's reward is what I'm feeling here. That's exactly what this feels like. You've already done all the hard work, this practical energy here, right? The thoughts are in the right place. You're releasing what needs to, or thinking about at least what, who, and what can come with you. And then this energy again with the Dao Kamai, literally saying, great shining light, you know? The universe is shining on you. That co-creation, no longer in the mind, doubting one's ability or capabilities or whatever the case is. Been through the shit, the mud, like I said, the unfolding of you because of those lessons learned. So the action for you is literally, like I said, active stillness. It's beautiful. It's like you're ready to go whenever, but there's nobody, you're not running anywhere. You're like, oh, time to go? Okay, let's go. You know, it's just a matter of this, just waiting for that cue. Wow, and then your emotional energy, the water energy. Let's see. Look at this! Dragonfly emergence, lotus flower unfoldment, like the emotions and the mind connected, the fire and the practical connected. Like, it's so good! I can't, it's so good! Nothing else to say. Element of spirit, like, wow. Wow. I'm in awe, Pal 3. I'm not kidding. Like, legitimately in awe. The emergence of you, spiritually evolved and mature. The unfoldment of who you are from the work that you've done. Emerging as a new, beautiful, elevated, evolved, ascended human being. So the element of spirit provides enlightenment, insight, psychic ability, connection with the higher self and the divine, communing. We already talked about this. Like, you are connected fully, no longer seeking, like you've done the work. You are asked to detach and approach situations from a removed standpoint. Do not allow the mundane and the physical to overly affect the work that you do. Again, this echo to the rapid changes in your life, to the emergence of you, but just connected, my love, like just really, really in alignment. Interesting. And misunderstanding. Interesting. I'm curious if I'm getting two energies. If the misunderstandings come from other people because of your emotional choices now and the changes, again, why or whomever may not be able to come, or whatever may not be able to come with you on this journey that you are going in now, or the path that you're taking now. I can also feel like there may have been misunderstandings about communication or ways of doing things in the past. Again, I'm bringing it back more to this practical energy here, but we'll see. I feel like we're going to get some more clarifiers or context, of course, if with the tarot, but there's two energies here. I feel like you've been misunderstood. You can be misunderstood because of these new changes. Let's see. And dedicated effort, which is like the Eight of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. And the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So yeah, again, when I said I feel like it's connected to your earthly energy, that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like because of the dedicated effort you put into altering yourself to give yourself a new start. And it feels like you let go of something easier than I think people may have thought you could, or the people involved knew that you were capable of. Speaking of that word, capable. It's like you just let it go. You're like, well, if this is what can't happen, it's okay. Like I'll just sever that with that King of Swords and continue on my path. There's no misunderstandings, you know? It's like we might misunderstand why we're making these choices, but within the choice, there's no misunderstanding. I hope that makes sense. So your emotional energy is like dedicated effort to yourself, to your quest, to this thing that you're creating. That's where your emotions are. That's where everything, where all of your focus is, my lovely. And then flowers, look at this. Because you're waiting for this blooming of you, the blossoming, like I said, of you, the maturing of you, the evolution of you. Practically putting down your seeds. Again, we said something about that in the legacy. I think I said that in the beginning. I don't even remember. But that's what it feels like. It's unbelievable energy, Pal 3. Like it's very, I feel like seldom that it feels so balanced, you know, when it comes to the emotional flow of it. Because like I'm very expressive and I'm fairly loud sometimes, you know, and I'll go up and down when it comes to like what I'm feeling from this, and it all feels like just, ooh, just so good. Like I don't know what else to say. It's just good. Oh man. It is that kind of puppy dog love, loyalty, companion, unconditional kind of feeling, you know? It's just so satisfied. It's so accomplished, so like proud of oneself. Wow. So, wow. What I'm feeling here, my lovely, is that there is something big really happening for you as your check-in, you know, and you're aware of it because you're the one who I honestly, you have to let me know, but I honestly feel like it's already been done. Like it's already out there. Like I don't think it's about to. It can be for some, don't get me wrong, but this is like, it feels like it's already been out there and now you're like, okay, let's keep going, you know, that kind of feel. Wow. Okay, so your guidance, your closing guidance says, be impeccable with your word, become a white magician, excuse me. All the magic you possess is based on your word, and you cast spells all the time with your opinions. You can either put a spell on someone with your word, or you can release someone from a spell. That's this, you know, like who's this interference or what's coming in between? Do I release this person or do I keep them? And it's all about words. It's all about how we communicate with ourselves, with the misunderstandings, you know? Last one from Self-Forgiveness Oracle, Masculine and Feminine Edition, you have the feminine energy. It says, I forgive myself for taking life more seriously than is helpful to me. And I think you've gotten yourself maybe out of that, maybe because of Saturn's lessons. You've understood that or how to better manage that. That's possible. And I choose to believe that allowing myself to be more lighthearted during times of challenge creates the environment required to access a higher wisdom. Abso-freaking-lutely. You know, like you did that unfoldment of you and the emergence of you through the challenges, through whatever you had to go through to create the masterpiece that I feel has already been created. And you right now, my lovely, are waiting for that motherfucking rain to pour in that cornucopia of bounty. Like, it's freaking lovely. I got nothing more. You stumped me, my pile 3. Like, that's it. Like, you good. Like, you good. I am so happy for you. I am sending you so much love. If this resonated, please let me know. I would love to hear about this story or how this applies in your life. Until next time, keep watering your lives. Ciao.